A Titanoboa bigger than a house was spotted in the Amazon.
Scientists in the Amazon rainforest may have found the world's biggest snake.
Are prehistoric serpents still roaming the earth today?
This next creature is a lakeside leviathan. This incredibly huge snake was discovered slithering through a Brazilian village just under a year ago. Animals that get to be this large often adopt an almost cavalier attitude. They're so massive that nothing in the jungle realistically threatens them, and so they get used to throwing their weight around. When this snake was smaller, it likely had to avoid jaguars or even caimans, but now it's such an immense creature that it pays them no mind. This is the sort of snake that could easily crush a canoe and easily out-wrestle a person. So can you blame it for rocking through this village without a care in the world? The people in the village know well enough to just leave the snake alone while it goes on its way, and neither side causes problems for the other. The real question is, what would you do seeing this leviathan? This behavior shown by this snake is an interesting one and raises a lot of questions. The snakes do not like to be outside of cover, and snakes do not like traveling long distances, and snakes really don't like traveling long distances uphill out of cover. So why then is this snake braving the risks to journey up this seemingly barren hillside? To some, this is just an especially bold snake, but others have a slightly different view. This snake is big, but it's not massive. Its ego, however, seems to be huge, which some have taken to mean this is a juvenile. And the only snake that this could be a juvenile of and be that large is the Titanoboa. The question remains, if Titanoboa are so bold, why don't we see them?
Now have a look at this giant that was spotted in the Congo. Way back in 1959, a Belgian Air Force colonel might have discovered the first ever modern day Titanoboa. Remy van Leeuwen was dispatched in the Congo at the time when he stumbled across this giant serpent that was lying in an open field. He was flying in a helicopter when he noticed the snake staying perfectly still and instructed his pilot to get a little closer. Van Leeuwen was obviously pretty shocked when he got a closer look at it and realized just how big this thing actually was. The snake was apparently over 40 feet long, and it did not resemble any other known serpents in the area. The pilot got as low as he possibly could before the snake eventually reared up and forced him to retreat back into the skies. The colonel managed to snap a few photos before they left the scene and actually sent them to the CIA for further examination. The investigators did confirm that the creature was some type of snake, but they were unable to identify the exact species. It doesn't sound like this creature was ever spotted again after this close call, but many believe this single-handedly kickstarted a new fascination with the Titanoboa.
Caught in the water. This utterly bonkers footage shows one of the largest snakes I've ever seen. Two men in a boat motoring down a tributary of the Amazon are searching for a snake, and boy do they find one. They discover a massive creature that's obviously just consumed a meal, and then begin bothering and annoying it until it moves off. The only issue is the meal that it's digesting, which is likely a capybara, which floats too much for the snake to be able to submerge and get away. Instead, it allows the men to continue following it until they manage to grab it by the tail and try to haul it to land. The snake struggles, but it's too tired from the exertions of both hunting and then trying to escape, and eventually goes limp. Aside from being very dangerous, this is an incredibly cruel and disrespectful thing to do, and earned these men a $600 fine. Still, despite the poor behavior of the people in this video, the snake is undoubtedly immense. Some have even claimed this to be the famed Titanoboa, although others have said it's simply a very full anaconda. What do you think?
Giant piece of snakeskin that might have belonged to the Titanoboa. It appears that one lucky or unlucky traveler has discovered a terrifying piece of evidence that could prove the Titanoboa's modern day existence. The town of Westbrook, Maine might seem like a pretty normal place from the outside, but locals believe that a prehistoric beast is living within their community. This giant creature is known only as Wessie, and many have stated it is a prehistoric serpent from a bygone era. There have been many sightings reported over the years, but actually obtaining any proof has been pretty difficult. However, that all changed back in 2016 when a hiker stumbled across a giant piece of snakeskin. They were forced to stop in their tracks and they noticed that a giant serpent had left a trace of itself in the middle of the path. Experts were brought in to examine this terrifying discovery, but even they were completely perplexed. This piece of skin was considerably bigger than anything else that has been discovered in the area and really gave people the chills. Of course, this brought the possibility of Wessie being a real creature, and now many believe that it is actually a modern day Titanoboa. Local police even had to warn people to be on high alert and stay far away from the snake if they did encounter it in the wild.